Sean, the most important thing that we got to talk about from the divisional round of the NFL playoffs is Bo Nix going down with a season-ending injury. It looked like what was supposed to be this triumphant win. Bo Nix gets his first playoff dub in year 2. The Broncos just look really they look like they have all this momentum. They look like they were able to be the one team that could kill the giant that is Josh Allen and to knock him off of his footing and force 4 turnovers from him. And then there's Jarrett Stidham, who has to now start in the AFC Championship game. By the way, Jarrett Stidham, AFC Championship game appearance before Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's insane. That's so foul.
Who's wondering. This is crazy, though, because it takes away completely from what was an awesome performance. I don't know what to expect.
This is crazy. It was nuts how the news broke also, where it was like, all right, we're moving on to the second game on Saturday. Also, Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. What? We watched his studly ass take interviews after the game, smiling, and he broke a bone in his ankle. He couldn't play. I don't get that. I didn't understand it. It happened so late in the game that I guess it wasn't visible because it just was up to the Bills to piss the game away, which they did. I mean, that's so disappointing from Buffalo. Josh Allen was a mess after the game. Like, that made sense to me because he should have beat Denver. And Denver is a great team. They played phenomenal. Bo Nix had a great game. They were great. But this was Denver just pissing down their leg, or Buffalo rather beating themselves, pissing down their legs and letting Denver move on to, I guess, hand the Super Bowl appearance from the AFC to either the Patriots or the Texans. Like, congrats to those teams. You were seated well by the committee there. You got the cakewalk. One of you two is really going to move right along. It's kind of it's going to be fine. I mean, those teams were probably going to beat Denver anyways, but this is unsatisfying. This is an unsatisfying way to go into the AFC Championship, watching Bo Nix kamikaze pilot the whole operation, taking himself out and the Bills.
If the playoff committee had any balls, they would put Alabama in for the AFC
I'd watch that game. I'd watch the hell out of that game.
So this is I thought that the Broncos, what they did is they showed a lot of grit in the way that they played and forcing some of those turnovers that they had. I understand the controversy of the final call and the interception. I absolutely hate relitigating penalties. I just, as much as they might be wrong or right, it's meaningless. The game is over. Yep. We can't change the outcome by talking about it.
But have you seen that before, where a player catch down, roll, and then then the defender?
I just don't know. I don't know enough about the officials are supposed to be smarter than us, so I don't know enough directly about the rules. If he has contact on the ball, if that counts as dual possession.
I'll tell you who's not smarter than us. Gene Steratore, who just comes in and just agrees. I couldn't stand him today. Couldn't stand him. Just agreeing with the officials just because you don't know what to call. Take a stand and say, tie goes to the offensive player. He was down and then he got ripped away. I know it's a bang on We saw it with the Seattle Green Bay stuff. This is less atrocious than that, but a really, really great game, pulled out of the hands, pulled away from the players by the officials. Even if it's a nutso play like that, it is never satisfying. And starting quarterback goes down, never satisfying. Josh Allen not in the AFC Championship, not satisfying. But it's a great game, so I'm not really complaining, even though I sound like I'm complaining.
Okay, but here's the big thing for me though with the Broncos is you mentioned how the Bills really did shoot themselves in the foot a lot. They did not play a clean game whatsoever. It was turnover riddled, and despite that, they were in the game the entire time. The turnover differential was significant enough that the Broncos, with how good their defense has been this year, should have been beating them by multiple scores. Big reason why this game ended up still being close is James Cook was having such an easy time running the ball. And I think that a bit of an issue has been pointed out now for what Denver can't slow down. So not only are you stepping into the AFC Championship game without your starting quarterback, with a cold backup who hasn't played, you also have not like a good gut feeling with how your defense performed that's going to need to win you the game in order to get to a Super Bowl. And also to win a Super Bowl. It's just, as great as it feels to have won that game, I feel like if I'm a Broncos fan, I feel like absolute shit because I wouldn't feel secure. And as you're talking about here, it's basically whoever wins tomorrow is going to go to the Super Bowl.
I'll even one up you. Losing Bo Nix, they also lost their lead rusher from the game versus Buffalo. Jaleel McLaughlin, 21 yards. RJ Harvey, 20 yards. Their offense was the pass game, and now they're not even going to have that, and they don't have a good run game. Like, what are we? They're so cooked. They're uber cooked. Are we thinking RJ Harvey's going to be like shouldering the load, going for 120 and 2 touchdowns next week? No. It's going to be an ugly, ugly game. This sucks. It really does.
Yeah, I know it absolutely sucks. And hoping that this game ends up being competitive. The one thing that now gets brought up here before we talk about the second game, Josh Allen can't get to a Super Bowl. The 1 year, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, he can't get to a Super Bowl. And it comes off of one of his most self-destructive games that we've witnessed. The damn fumble that he had at half that allowed them to kick a field goal. The Broncos kick a field goal. What was he doing on that play? It almost felt like fate stepped in and said, Josh, you're never going to. I would feel, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm sorry to say this, after watching today's game, that should be confirmation that Josh Allen will never win a Super Bowl. Not because he's incapable from a talent perspective.
That's tough to hear out loud.
That every piece of just like cosmic energy is against you. Again, this is no like Josh Allen's unqualified. He can't do it. Not what I'm saying. I'm not calling him fraudulent. I think that Josh Allen is unbelievably talented. I want him to win a Super Bowl. But the problem is the gods have a much different fate planned for you.
Okay, can I pitch you? It seems like we got a couple cursed quarterbacks in the league that are very talented. What if we just did a swap and negated the curses? We send If-Man to Buffalo. We send Josh Allen
I don't think it fixes
Los
anything.
Angeles.
I don't think it fixes anything.
I'm trying to fix something. I'm trying to figure it out here. We can't just sit here and let them both be Phillip Rivers and Dan Marino and just be like so great and so great. But then I didn't really get to finish my entree here. Like I didn't get to finish. I wanted it. I was enjoying it, but then a fly landed on it or something. Like I'm left so unsatisfied thinking about the idea of Josh Allen not getting the Super Bowl because I think he's turned a lot of people around. The first couple years of real glazing turned people off of Josh Allen big time. And then he started making it up, superhero stuff. And the superhero's got to go to the Super Bowl though. Like that's just eventually, that's what the superhero has to do. And it's really, really unfortunate. Even Cam Newton did the superhero bit, made the Super Bowl. You got to do it. You got to do it eventually, man.
The Seahawks completely dominated the 49ers. Not really a lot that I honestly would completely like shit all over the 49ers because they played poorly and Brock Purdy played awful again against the Seahawks defense. But here's the thing. They're so banged up that I just don't want to be that one guy who's sitting here laying it on. My big thing with this is that was unreal energy from Seattle, special teams and defense. Kenneth Walker looked phenomenal. Insane legacy moment for him in the way that he was able to just find every little sliver of space. No Zach Charbonnet to steal those carries at the 1 yard line. I can't help but return to the moment at the start of the fourth quarter in week 16 against the Rams when they were basically going to lose their fourth game. It felt like, Sam Darnold, multiple interceptions. He's somewhat fraudulent. This team is not going to go very far. They were a good team this year. Their defense is good, but they're flawed. Let's get ready for next year. They go on that run. They win that game on Thursday Night Football in overtime that carries momentum for the final 3 weeks of the season to this point now where their defense is just slaughtering people. That defense, whoever they face in the NFC Championship game, I think is good enough. Darnold didn't have to do anything. Good enough to win them the next game and good enough to win them the Super Bowl.
They're favorites over the Rams. They're favorites over the Bears. That's how the situation has to be.
3 or more points.
After watching this game, that I have to look at this objectively and say the Seattle Seahawks are the favorites in that next matchup. Sam Darnold rules. 124 yards, 1 touchdown. He threw 17 passes. Okay. He got a playoff win. That's what we've been waiting for. What happens now? What happens now, big man? The monkey's off your back. It's so hard in the NFL to get that first one if you're a quarterback. If you're a bubble guy, if you're a good quarterback, not great, so challenging to get that. You got it now. You got a defense. You got a run game. You just beat the hell out of a rival. You own San Francisco. Now you got all the momentum in the world. Let's see what you got. Shame on Minnesota. That whole operation is after a year of looking at it, Seattle fleeced the entire NFL. They just fleeced the league getting this guy. They said, we built something. All we need is a kind of a doofus, kind of a good quarterback to manage the offense and run it with us and make some good throws. They found him. That's all Minnesota needed this year also.
I know, by the way, it's kind of insane to remember all of that because there are such stark differences or similarities rather between the two of them that, cracked defense with, some weapons on offense. Like if you plug Sam Darnold in either team, they're mirrors of one another.
They should just be so embarrassed. Go ahead. Keep JJ for 5 years. Sign him to the big deal. Sign him to the big deal and commit to it. Sink with the ship like a man. Don't bail now. You cannot pull the plug on him. Continue and wait it out. As long as Sam Darnold's playing in Seattle, that's as long as JJ McCarthy should be playing in Minnesota. It should be a punishment to start that guy after seeing what Seattle did. San Francisco, outcoached. That's where I'm left. Kyle Shanahan, coach of the year. Not in my book. Not in my book. Not after this. This was rough. You got smoked by Seattle. You got embarrassed by them in week 18. You meet them 2 weeks later and you get embarrassed even worse. Why do they have your number if you're coach of the year? Why is your quarterback having such a bad game if he's supposed to be a guy that everyone on Twitter is telling me is better than I expected him to be? Not really. He's good.
Brock Purdy has always been he'll put together the one good game, and then everybody's just like, "Oh my God, this guy's but he will get glazed."
That
until
strutting
the end of
he
time.
did versus Chicago.
Yes,
the strutting he did versus Chicago.
Yes,
is nauseating after seeing something like this.
This has always been my criticism of Brock Purdy is that, and I the way that I framed why I would rather try to build around Trey Lance at the time that I said it. I think that still stands. My whole logic was Brock Purdy is good enough when you have all the pieces and everything around you to get you to the playoffs, win regular season games, beat all the below average teams, to produce really well against bad defenses. He's done that. The problem is that he is not an elevator. He's not a guy that don't say something about escalators. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I hate that you knew exactly
I swear to God.
going,
I swear to God. He is not the type of guy that when a lot of his key weapons are banged up and the defense is banged up, that he can't put the load on his back. I'm not asking every single quarterback to be able to do that, but the problem in the NFL is that there are a lot of quarterbacks that need to be able to play at that high level in order for their team to get so far. Very rarely do these middle of the pack quarterbacks go on to win Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts is an exception. He is not the rule. I just think that we witnessed today that when you go up against a really, really good defense, Brock Purdy is going to struggle because he is not capable of elevating his team.
I didn't expect Jalen Hurts to catch a stray in a week.
I would gladly give a stray to Jalen Hurts.
Dude, I was in Philly. I was tormenting these Birds fans.
Good.
They're all, just hanging with people that are there lifelong. I'm like, how about them Birds, huh? How are you feeling? You excited to see AJ Brown ball out for another team next year? You excited for that? I am. Oh, I was tormenting them.
All right, everybody. Comment below your thoughts on the first two playoff games. We'll talk to you later.